Welcome to Film Courage. This is episode 159, and I'm Karen Warden.
And I'm David Brandon. You can find our archives on iTunes, filmcourage.com, latalkradio.com, and Movie Garage.
So at this year's TED Conference, YouTube's trend manager, Kevin Aloka, spoke about what makes a video viral, referring to today's Film Courage guest, Paul Yosemite Bear Vasquez, the double rainbow guy.
That video is how we discovered Paul.
Yeah.
In July 2010, one of Jimmy Kimmel's staffers caught wind of Bear's double rainbow video, which Jimmy Kimmel tweeted, inviting Bear in his show shortly after the video's success. Within days, I mean, the video blew up, had millions of views, and his life has forever been changed.
And to date, the video now has over 33 million views. Bear has traveled the world with speaking engagements, interviews, a television commercial with Jennifer Aniston, Microsoft, and more.
Bear prefers the natural beauty and wonder of Yosemite, California, where he can be close to spirit, family, his animals, and farm. And despite his celebrity and being one of Google's, or one of the most Googled, I want to say, individuals in July of 2010.
Please welcome to Film Courage, Paul Yosemite Bear Vasquez. Hello, Bear. How are you? Hello.
Wait a second.
Oh.
I'm asleep at the wheel here.
Okay. Well, you know, it is Easter, so the mimosas.
Here we go.
Good morning.
Bear, I apologize for that.
Oh, no, that was great. Yeah. Good morning.
Good morning. It's great. Now, I understand from watching your YouTube channel that you are in the middle of a juice fast. How's that going?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I'm on day 6.
Wow. How do you feel? Do you feel kind of more like your senses are heightened, or what do you feel?
Oh, I feel really energized. I'm surprised that I'm not hungry. It's brought a lot of clarity to me, and I don't know. I haven't watched the scale, but my daughter said I look thinner, so we'll see, I guess. But yeah, I feel real energized, and it's really neat. And I'm being guided through a fellow YouTuber with it, and she's lost 50 pounds, doing it. So it's a fascinating thing.
And that's Mia, powerful. Right? Mia?
Yeah, that's Mia. Yeah, Mia Sampson.
Oh, cool. Hi, Mia.
And is that your motivation, Bear? Is that something? Is it the weight loss, or is it? What is it exactly?
Oh, yeah, it's definitely weight loss because I've struggled with obesity my whole life, and it's something that's going to end my life a lot shorter if I don't do something about it.
Well, for those of you listening, please go over to Bear's YouTube channel, and again, that's Hungry Bear 9562, and you can see why Bear has the following that he does. I mean, there's so many short videos of his life, ranging from funny to in-depth and spiritual to some very emotion-filled ones that we saw.
I do want to make everyone aware that we do have Jonathan Schieffer here in studio with us, filmmaker,
Spiritist Volt.
Formerly currently known as Spiritist Volt. You can follow him on Twitter at J Schieffer, and we just welcome you to the studio as well.
Thank you, Jonathan. Thank you.
Hello.
It's a pleasure.
Great having you here.
So he's going to be throwing some. It's
He's
going
been doing his research. Yeah.
No, we've already mentioned we're going to triple team Bear today. So he's going to take part in having some fun with us here. Since I want to start with this, Bear. Since the video has gone viral, is there one day that passes where literally it doesn't come up at all?
No.
Isn't that something?
It's all inclusive in my life. It's mind-boggling. Yeah, it's always offers and people contacting me on the phone. It's a non-stop stream of humanity's consciousness flowing into me.
And today, I mean, do you still watch the double rainbow video, or? No,
I don't watch it very often at all. I watch it when people come over. I watch it like when I just do a TV appearance or something like that. Yeah, it's not something that I watch very often because it evokes a very powerful response in me.
Well, Bear, on our YouTube channel, we posted an interview with filmmaker Joe Wilson of Vampire Mob, his web series, entitled "No One Can Make a Viral Video." And in the video, Joe states exactly that, no one can intentionally create a viral video. And we just want to present this to someone who has accidentally created such an experience. Is it possible for someone out there to sort of brainstorm and get a video to go viral? I mean, we see these cat videos, we see these dancing babies, and is it possible, or is it just sort of an act of nature?
If you spend millions of dollars, you can do it. I mean, they did it with Jennifer Aniston, and I did this shoot with her, and they had it was over 100 people there, and it was a high budget thing, and they called it Jennifer Aniston sex tape, and since it was Jennifer Aniston, and they had all these viral video stars on it, they got 10 million views. So if you spend millions of dollars on a production, you can do it. But I did it for free.
Right.
So you can't intend it. You can't. It just has to happen.
Interesting. Sex tape.
So you don't think you can create it? I mean, because you've also met a lot of people within the YouTube community. You've met some of the most popular people on YouTube. I mean, so do you think anyone starting from scratch, if they set out like this is something that I'm going to do, do you think it will happen, or you think they would just be chasing the wildest of dreams?
I think you can't want it. I think if you want it, then it can't happen. I think that if you all I was doing was serving my fellow man. I was witnessing something that was pure and natural and being open and honest. You can't want it. If you want it, it can't come. You have to do it as part of service. So I don't think that it can happen that way. It's just, I don't think there's a formula for it. So it's tough. It's tough to say that. And I think people are trying to chase it down, and maybe someday it will come that someone can figure out the formula, but I don't know that that's possible.
What I love about the success of the Double Rainbow video is the work that you put in behind the scenes, and that's something that a lot of people may not realize. You posted the video in January of 2010. It wasn't until July of 2010 that it sort of exploded on the scene. But there was some work that you had done in between there, in terms of you going to visit the Jimmy Kimmel show. Like, when did that happen? When did you go? The first appearance on Jimmy Kimmel, when you didn't have the shirt, when was that? When you did that?
So I went to Jimmy's. I drove by Hollywood Boulevard and saw Jimmy's line and said, "Ooh, there's some power there," and went and signed up for tickets and said, and went in his audience and made my presence known. And I was just like following what was in front of me, and like didn't have any of this intended. I was just doing what was in front of me, and I guess I was being guided. I was being guided by spirit. So that that was in 2010. That
but like
was
what
2
month?
years before.
Oh wait, was that the same year? Was that before you posted the video?
That was 2 years before. Yeah, that was
2008.
That was 2008.
Oh, that was
and
2008.
I did Double Rainbow to 2010.
Right.
So, and when I went on Jimmy Kimmel, he was like, "Oh yeah, I guess maybe spirit is guiding you," because like this was all like predestined, because that's how they found my video, because I shot that, I caught that on my DVR and I put that on my YouTube channel, and they saw that clip and they said, "Oh, let's see what else he's got on his YouTube channel," and they saw the Double Rainbow video. So it's not like I shot the Double Rainbow video and I went in Jimmy Kimmel and made it all happen. No, it was all that I went in on his show first,
right.
and made that video of me on his show. So it wasn't like I was trying to promote the Double Rainbow video.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, Bear, though, what would you be doing now if this had never happened with Jimmy? I mean, have you thought about how your life would have turned out? Like,
I'd be doing the same thing I'm doing now, except not talking to you. I'd be working my farm. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So, photography and just living in beautiful surroundings. I gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, I would have went to the bear ceremony last night.
Right.
I would have.
Juicing.
I'd be, working. Yeah, farming. Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Let's talk a little bit how life has changed. I mean, how many people? I mean, can you guesstimate or estimate how many people you've interviewed with since the video went viral?
I'd say over 300 interviews all over the world.
Wow.
So that's
outstanding.
Yeah,
that's over 300 in the last 2 years. I mean, how many press opportunities have you turned down? You said, you know what, I don't like your vibe. I'm not going to do that particular interview or press
less
out.
than 5.
Oh, wow.
So you have turned down just a handful.
Interesting.
Yeah, because Spirit told me that I'm supposed to spread this message, and the only reasons I turned it down was it was a conflict. It was a conflict because it was timing. I was doing 2 at once. You know, it was like, I was already busy. So I made myself available at all times of the day, all hours. I never said no. It was the only reason I couldn't do it was because I was already doing something. And money was never an issue. I never charged for anything. You know, if someone was going to make some money off of it, then they needed to give me some. But I never made it about, you have to pay me.
Bear, I was watching your videos, and I noticed that you're very open and honest, and it really made me excited to talk to you today. One of the things I was wondering is you have a lifestyle that seems kind of like wanting to be in touch with nature, and then you have this other side that's very into technology and posting things on YouTube. And I'd like to just get to know a little bit more about how you think about it, about those two worlds together.
So, I mean, I was born and raised in L.A., and then I came to Yosemite to live and work in 1985. So it's like I have both worlds. And then I bought this farm, and I also have high-speed internet. I'm in the middle of nowhere, but I'm connected. So it's like I have everything. You know, I have this peace and solitude, but I'm also connected. So it's like I have like the best of both worlds. So it's like I was the perfect person to do this because I am open to spirit, but I'm also connected to humanity. It's powerful stuff.
That's really cool.
I just want to come back to just real quick, Bear. You know,
sure.
When all these people approach you, you know, like when the kind folks from Film Courage reach out to you and say, "Hey, you know what? You know, we want to talk with you." You know, you're not at a point yet where you're like, you know what? I'm tired of talking about the same thing over and over again. So I mean, you're not tired of it in any way at this point. 300.
I never get tired. I am tireless. No, I'm a servant. I'm a vessel of spirit, a servant of mankind. I am here to spread the message, and I have unlimited energy. No, I never get tired. Yeah, in the first 6 weeks, it was phenomenal. I was doing 5-6 interviews a day at all hours of the night. Some of the big ones, they said, we want you up at 1 in the morning, and I would like go to sleep with the phone in my hand, and I would wake up at 1 in the morning and do it. And sometimes I had to be up all night to do it. And you know, I would wake up at 7 in the morning and just do an interview, and then go back to sleep and do another one a couple of hours later. And you know, I just work tirelessly. That's one thing about me. I have so much energy. I could just bout it out.
And because you had this like dramatic shift in sort of your life, how were people around you reacting? Was it scary for them, or was it fun for them, or they were just in awe watching it?
Because you know, I've always had this really intense life, and I've always been this really intense person. You know, I was a cage fighter, and you know, so people that are around me, and it's like, it's just another thing. You know, it's like, it's just another thing that's in this amazing guy's life. So yeah, it's nothing that is out of step with who I am.
Okay. And we are on the line with Paul Yosemite Bear Vasquez, also known for his viral hit video, Yosemite Bear Mountain Giant Double Rainbow 1810. So Bear, since the explosion of the Double Rainbow video, is life better for you? Are you having more fun with it? Do you feel sort of a greater sense of fulfillment because you are able to spread the message of spirit, or has it been a little overwhelming?
There's been a couple of overwhelming things. When I was on stage at VidCon, there was thousands of people singing my words.
Wow. That
was kind of overwhelming. And then when a high school in Iceland raised money to bring me out there, and they did a festival where they sang and danced, and they did a play, and then these high school kids surrounded me, and they were all hugging and kissing me, and that was hard to understand. So that was, and then hugging Jennifer Aniston. that was kind of hard to understand. Those three things probably were like a little over the top, but everything else, you know, I get mobbed a lot. You know, people stop, but you know, it's all fun, and you know, I'm a cage fighter. I'm tough. You know, so nothing intimidates me. Nothing scares me. You know, so yeah, it's I take it all. You know, it's like, oh, this is cool. You know, I enjoy it. I enjoy life. So whatever comes, I'm happy with it.
Cool.
You know, so many people want, you know, they want that fame. They want to be famous. What would you tell them about success, good or bad?
You can't want it. I never did. I never wanted it. You know, when you look at my video, it's obvious I didn't try. I didn't want it. It's, you know, it's not set up. You don't even see me in that video. You know, it's a reaction, and I'm just open and pure and honest and brave to put it on there. So that's the thing. You have to let go. You can't want. You have to let go of wanting, and you have to just love and appreciate. And that's what I'm doing in that video. I'm just appreciating and I'm loving something that's beautiful in my front yard.
Yeah, Bear, when I first saw your channel, I thought that maybe it was kind of like the kind of person who stumbled across a video and made it awesome and then and got huge, and because of all the followers began to do a YouTube channel. But that's not what I saw with you. I saw that you were doing videos prior to that, and this was just kind of like one among many.
That's true. I was doing videos from the 80s, and I couldn't wait to get on YouTube. You know, I was shooting video when the video cameras first came out, and I had an editing VCR, and I was mixing videos and mixing sound and all that. And as soon as YouTube came out, I was like, oh, this is me, you know. And so the YouTube was made for me. Yeah.
See, you're a filmmaker, Bear. You're a filmmaker.
It's true. I have a story to tell.
You know, spiritually, you know, going back before the video, you know, where was your life at leading up to sort of the explosion? I mean, you know, were you in a good place? You know, spiritually, you know, financially. I mean, you know, can you take us back before the video?
So, well, it's an interesting story. I mean, I was raised in L.A. I lived in L.A. till I was 22, and then I moved to Yosemite in 1985 to live and work in the park. And I bought this land in 1988 and turned it into an organic farm. And I worked in Yosemite from 85 to 94, and I drove long-haul truck from 94 to 2004. And in 2004, I was 465 pounds, and I was going to die of obesity. So I realized that I had to stop driving trucks. So I sold my truck, and I bought photography equipment, I bought computers, and I bought dogs. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to breed dogs. I'm going to, you know, grow vegetables and fruit, and I'm going to do photography and video and try and make a living that way, and I'm going to try and lose weight. And then I thought, well, if I'm going to lose weight, I'm gonna have to fight for my life. I'm going to fight for real. I'm going to get into cage fighting. And, I mean, it's all a really interesting story. And, you know, and then I'm going to document it all. And so I didn't make very much money from, you know, when I stopped driving truck, but my place was all paid for. So, yeah, from 2004 till, like, when I went viral, I lived on $6,000 a year or less, just from selling my dogs and from my photography business. So, yeah, I was really poor for a long time, but it's all a real interesting story, and it's all in my videos.
You know, where did it come from in terms of, you know, was this something that was always inside you with wanting to have the video equipment and you know, that whole side of it? Like, where did that come from?
The first time I saw myself on video, I said, oh my God, that's me. I need to do that. Someone took a video of me riding my motorcycle, like in the 80s, or as soon as video came out, I was like, oh, I need to have a video camera. And I took a credit card out, and I put an ad in the local paper saying, I will videotape your event for free, and I'll sell you the tapes for $20. And I would go into videotape events and sell tapes sell tapes for $20, and I would make, you know, $200-300, and I paid for my equipment that way. And I didn't make very much money, but I made enough to buy more equipment, and I bought enough equipment so I had really good equipment, and so I wasn't making a whole bunch of money, but I made enough to where I could really do this really good, and so it got me into it. It was like I was just drawn to this medium.
Bear, I want to go back to your intuition for a minute because I'm so fascinated by it. And you mentioned I think you mentioned this in your bio on your site, and you also mentioned this in the article you just did for our site, that you were able to feel how humanity was viewing you once the rainbow video went viral. Being as intuitive as you are, how do you handle it if you pick up negativity? How do you filter that out? You said that most of the time it's been positive and all that, but I'm sure there are times when there's just somebody that's in a dark place and they're going to want to fight and they're going to come at you. So how do you filter that out?
Yeah, so you call those people trolls, and all of that is.
I love it.
All of that is about them, and you just realize that, So if someone comes after you, you realize that they're pathetic people, and they're feeling bad about themselves, and so it's not about you. So whenever someone attacks me, it's like I know that they're pathetic creatures, and it's always 100%. They don't have a profile picture and they don't have any videos. So they're horrible, miserable people who live in toilets.
What about when you're out in the world? Like for me, like going to, I don't know if you've ever been to Hollywood and Highland, but it's like a vortex of energy. And for me, it's a lot to handle. Do you ever have that happen where it's just too much and you've like, I want to go back to the solitude of nature? Or are you able to sort of ground yourself when you're in those public settings and you just feel energy just coming at you?
The energy flows through me, and I can really handle it. Mm-hmm. I don't like traffic, I don't like cars and all that, but humans, I love that energy, and it's never negative. Okay. And I'm like the worst person to mess with. I'm a big, giant cage fighter. I'm 350 pounds, and I'm trained in jiu-jitsu and boxing and all that, so no one ever messes with me, And if you did, it's like it would be over so quick. You know what I mean? And so many people love me. It would be, everyone would defend me so quick, So, yeah, I never get any negative energy toward me in public. And if I did, it's like I'm so protected by so many things that, nothing bad would ever happen to me.
And do you have a process of how you let things flow through you? Can you take us through that, or is it just so instinctual that it's even hard to just put into words?
It's just been a lifelong process of learning that, and so martial arts has been something that I've been training in for a long time, and that's a big part of it. Martial arts trains you in that, and it becomes ingrained in you. It becomes part of your reality, part of your way of thinking, and people sense that, and when you're 350 pounds, people, you just put off this aura, and you're so big and powerful, people don't mess with you, and they don't even think about messing with you.
Okay.
That's sort of a fascinating endorsement for martial arts there. I like that.
That's cool.
Bear, does everyone have the power to connect with their own success? For you, you've gained this enormous popularity from the Double Rainbow video, and then people become intrigued by you and your subsequent videos that you have online, and just people become fascinated just watching your life on YouTube. But what about for the struggling artists out there who still haven't gotten there yet? They still haven't sort of crossed over, and they're sort of trying to live out their dreams. Do you believe they have it in them to connect with their own success?
So I'm only human, So the thing about me is I don't make it about me. I make it about my service to my fellow human beings. And if you can do that, if you can make it about not wanting it, if you can make it about I want to serve my fellow human beings, I want to give my art, my soul to my humans because I love, then powerful things can happen. That's it right there.
One of the things that I noticed in your videos is you seem to be tremendously open and genuine. And it was at first I thought it was kind of like an act, but the more I watched it, I mean, I really believe that you are who you say you are, And
Yeah.
I mean, you have videos that are like too long to fake. And one of the moments that really struck me as powerful and open was you talked about this moment where you one of your catchphrases is what does this mean? And you said that you can't say that anymore without thinking about the video. And I was wondering, is there a point or a series of points, choices maybe, that you made that led you to this open and honest way of seeing the world and of living?
Well, coming to live in Yosemite is so powerful. You know, it's so beautiful. People come here from all over the world just to like get a glimpse of it. You know, they come and it's like, oh, I can spend 2 or 3 days here. And I've been living here since 1985, and I practice the Yosemite Indian ceremonies and cultures here. You know, I'm immersed in it, and I walk around there, and people, it's like, oh, he's a Yosemite legend, you know, and I have this farm here that's right near the park, you know. That's a big part of it, you know, that coming and living near this, it's the center of the universe, you know, that has been a big part of it. And then having this farm, not, you know, out in the middle of nature, that's a big part of it too. You know, people send me videos of rainbows, and they're always with buildings or telephone wires, or they're in traffic. You don't see any rainbow videos with just nature like mine. Mm-hmm. So being in nature like that, that's huge. So even if you live in the city, if you can get out in nature, that's a big part of it. So yeah, being in nature, that helps.
Well, that question actually, Jonathan, segues perfectly into what we were going to ask about. You know, we do see you, Bear, as being very open, and we see this beautiful life that you have and your beautiful children in the videos, and it feels like we know you. It feels like, hey, we're friends and all this stuff. And I'm sure there's people out there on the internet, and not trolls, but nice people, but maybe they feel like they know you. But the thing is, there's like this line, though, because you still have your life and you still have your right to privacy. How do you kind of keep those boundaries in place while being friendly and not hurting people's feelings? Because I'm sure people probably come at you like, oh, Bear, we're friends, we know you.
Yeah, well, they are my friends, and they come and visit me.
Okay, so you're okay with that. All right. So
yeah,
there's...
I mean, I spend time with them. I go visit them. They come and visit me. They're my friends. We talk, yeah.
Okay.
And that's another thing that I wanted to talk about is how the YouTube and the Internet are expanding humanity's consciousness, and it's changing who we are as humans. We are evolving into this creature that we're like more united now. And so it's not just, oh, the internet is this thing. Now it's we're united on the internet, and YouTube is our memory, and Facebook is like how we talk. So yeah, it's not. I don't have these boundaries. Yeah.
Okay.
You have to get my permission to come up here and visit my house.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, if you do, so many countless people have come and visited me, and I go visit them, and you know, I meet a lot of them. You know, they come and stay with me. I have one here now.
Yeah, Mia. Very cool. Yeah, we saw the videos. Yeah. Hi, Mia. Well, and in keeping with that, for the messages that you've received from Spirit, are there things that we need to know? Does humanity, I mean, you've kind of talked about that concerning alternative energy. What are some of the messages that you're receiving about that humanity needs to know about right now, where we're headed?
Well, the stuff about food is really important. You know, like fast food is dangerous. Sugar is dangerous. We need to get back to like organic farms and organic ways of eating. Or energy. We need to get off of foreign oil. We need to get onto alternative energy because it's going to happen. And the sooner that we figure it out, the sooner we get onto solar and wind and all those others, the better. Because if we wait too long, it's going to be really bad because people are going to suffer. So if we figure it out now and say, we need to start this now, then less people are going to suffer.
Okay.
So those are two of the biggest ones, energy and food. And then if we can get on energy now, then we'll be rich. I talk about this in this Bear for President video. You know, we can be rich again if we start spending the money on alternative energy, on the infrastructure that we need to transmit the solar and the wind. If we do that here now, then it stops polluting ourselves with foreign oil and put Americans back to work building that infrastructure. We'll have money for health care. We'll have money to reform the prison systems. So, those two things are the biggest ones, food and energy.
Okay. And I'm wondering, too, when in your life did you start receiving these sort of intuitive downloads, if you want to call them? I mean, was it once you got to Yosemite and maybe things were just more serene, or have you experienced this since the time you were a little boy?
I have to say I was like always a really spiritual person. I started dragging my mother to church when I was a little kid, and I was always exploring different religions. I went through a lot of different religions. I was always seeking spirituality. And then when I came to Yosemite, it's like I started to get into the ceremonies and culture. So it's been a long, slow progression. And it's just been something who I am, and it just keeps continuing and progressing.
You had mentioned this sort of shift in global consciousness. I mean, do you think that's happening right now, or are we seeing a shift in global consciousness?
It's already happened, and people are not realizing that it's happened, but they're going to realize that it happened. But with the internet, people are connecting, and one of the things that I saw is I had a friend here, and she was sitting on my front yard, and I posted on my Facebook page that I needed to let my chickens out, and she's sitting in my front yard, and she goes, "When are you going to let your chickens out?" And it was like, whoa, because she didn't have her computer, but she understood that.
Oh, wow.
And it's like, she's on Facebook, right? But she didn't have her computer with her. So she's tapped into that consciousness, even without that computer. So that's happening. That's where we're going. We're in that consciousness, and we're going there. We're going to go there without our computers.
Well, you mentioned, too, that's something that seems to happen to you a lot, that sort of anybody in your circle, there's sort of like this, you almost tap into like the same mindset. Can you just touch on that for a second?
Yeah, some of the people that I'm really close to, we're on the same level. We kind of we connect, we communicate without talking, without actually having to do it, on Facebook. We kind of just know what's going on. I have a video where I'm talking about my daughter, and the second I say her name, the phone rings, and it's her.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so, it's stuff like that.
That sounds like my relationship with Karen. We're constantly...
Yeah.
So it's there. People just don't realize, it's there.
Yeah. It's so interesting, Bear, because here you are, you're in the middle of nature, and yet you do have sort of the high-speed internet that you've mentioned here. How plugged in are you? Because what's amazing is here you are in nature, but you comment frequently on your YouTube page. If someone comments, you're likely to comment back. You've been terrific keeping up with emails as leading up to this show. So how much of it is you enjoying nature throughout the day, and how much of it is you being plugged in online?
Well, I'm in my front yard right now.
Oh, really? Oh, that's cool.
We like that.
I love it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you can be in my front yard on a laptop, and you actually, where the double rainbow video was shot, you can be on your laptop without wires, you can be on your Wi-Fi without, if you're running on your battery. Yeah, you could be walking around. I could be showing you that on Skype anywhere in the world without electricity, yeah, that's what it's like.
But is your day like our day, where you're just on that computer for just hours and hours every day?
Yeah, it can be that, and then I also have to go and come and take care of my animals. I have chickens and dogs, and then I have all kinds of plants, so it's mixed. And then I ride my motorcycle, and I got to go to town, and so it's both. But yeah, I am on hours and hours every day. I have so much coming into me, I have to take care of that. But so it's both.
Yeah, well, from watching the videos, I've been telling Dave, like, I want to move to Yosemite. Like, I want to live somewhere rural like that. It looks so cool. And I'm wondering, what is the most common response you get from people who've seen your YouTube channel and essentially are following your life?
That this is such an amazing place. And, you know, I spent 10 years driving truck, 48 states in Canada, and I looked for a better place than here, and I couldn't find it. You know, I was born and raised in L.A., and I loved it. And I came up here, and I was like, ooh, this is a better place. And I bought this farm, and when I drove truck, I was like, I'm going to look for if there's any other better place. And I had all this criteria, you know, weather, politics, pollution, crime. There was a whole long list, and no place came close to this place. It's just fantastic. Great weather. You know, we're in California, which, you know, California is the leading as far as humanity's consciousness. You know, all the ideas start here. You know, film, technology. You know, everyone thinks that California is where it starts. So, yeah, and then the weather here and the affordability of this place, it's fantastic. And the people here, they're like-minded here. They know that something's coming, and they're preparing.
One of the things that I've noticed in your videos, Bear, is that your rainbow video enabled you to really be invited into places that we might not normally get to see. And one of those places that I saw was when you visited the Occupy Oakland. And I was wondering if you could talk about the different maybe vibe that you got, because there was a section of the video where they were sprinkling the mud, and then there was another section where you were sitting on stage behind the speakers. And I was just wondering if you could talk about the different spirits, for lack of a better word, of those two environments.
Yeah, so I mean, you know, I saw this movement going on. I thought, you know what, I need to go lend myself to that and see what I can do to document my part. And I can see how, like, the people were there, and that's where I was. I felt that I was part of the people. But then in the background, you could see, like, they were doing, like you said, they were sprinkling that. So you could tell, like, from underground, the politicians, they didn't like any of that, you know. And when I was there, I didn't experience very much of it firsthand, but like the day before I got there, they had beat up so many people, you know. So like I didn't experience the negativity firsthand and the brutality firsthand, but it was there. And you know, there's like all this oppression going on, and I didn't see very much of it. I just saw a very little taste of it. And in that video, you see me like shooting the helicopter. You know, there's a helicopter watching, and yeah, the little sprinkler. So I'm just getting little flavorings of it, you know. But mostly, and you know, there's cops around, and I get little shots of that. But when I was there, I didn't see very much of that. I don't know if it's because I was there or whatever, you know. But that's what my experience was like.
You know, you say that the double rainbow video, you know, the lessons that you got out of it, or the messages you're supposed to share, it boils down to three main messages: love your fellow man, walk gently on Mother Earth, and connect to spirit. I want to talk about connect to spirit. What does that really mean, Bear, and how do you do that? How do you connect to spirit?
So spirit is all around us. Spirit is, some people call it God, some people call it Mother Nature. Spirit is something other than yourself. Spirit can also be your fellow man. If you can love your fellow man, you know, then that's good enough. If you can treat your fellow man like if that person is God, then you're connecting to spirit. And another way to do it is to just get out in nature and appreciate it. You know, if you can go look at a rainbow and go, oh my God, that's so beautiful, then you're doing it, you know. And the thing that's been powerful to me is people see rainbows now and they start saying my words. So even though maybe they're not really believing it, at least they're mouthing it, you know. So, and that's how I started to transform my life. I wanted to be a more generous person, and I wasn't, and I forced myself to be, and now I am because I forced it. And people are seeing rainbows and they're saying these words, and it's forcing it. They're doing it. So if people can start to do it, then they're going down that path.
Can you tell us how you forced yourself? I find that fascinating because there's a lot of people, especially now with, well, they say we're out of a recession, but things are still really tough and people are sort of beaten down emotionally. How would we resurrect ourselves if we're in that funk?
So, I mean, how I forced myself to be generous is I started giving stuff away. You know, I mean, it's like my nature. I grew up in East LA, you know, and it was a violent place, and my nature was to, I wanted to get over on everyone, and no one was going to be able to get over on me, and I was like, I didn't like who I was, so I'm going to just give. I'm going to give I'm going to give the shirt off my back if someone needs it, you know, and it didn't feel good. It hurt, but I was like, I want to change who I am, and so you know, if you're heavy, if you're obese, it doesn't feel good to walk, but if you force yourself, you'll become not heavy. So you have to force the things that you don't want to do. If you're sad, if you're depressed, and you laugh and you force yourself to laugh, you'll become not depressed. And you know, it doesn't seem like that's possible, that's true, but it is. If you're sad, if you're depressed, and you laugh hard, even if it's fake, you will change.
I love it. I love it. I mean, it's interesting because you're isolated in nature, you're miles away from people, but people are so drawn to you. And in almost every one of your videos, there's the woofer girls. They're there working on your farm. You got all these people. Can you explain that?
I'm the sad old man in the middle of nowhere. The beautiful women.
You're a chick magnet. Yeah, no, I mean, just all this stuff. Can you explain this vortex of? I mean, you know, we see it, but I'm just wondering why. What your take is? I mean, everybody's so drawn to you. You know.
It's because I do not want. I accept and I appreciate, and I'm a gentleman, you know, and I don't want sex from these women. I just love, you know. I don't hit on them, you know, and I have a good set of references, you know, and it's beautiful here, you know, and I'm a magic man, and when you have all these things, people are drawn to you. And all these, you know, women were coming here before I got famous, you know, so it's not because I'm famous.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you make people feel good. That's great.
Yeah,
well,
and you know, you have to be a gentleman. That's the biggest part. And when it first started, I would tell the women who are coming here that I will treat you like I would want any man to treat my daughter. And that protects my daughter. That brings karma on my daughter, and you know. And so if I'm going to treat you like I would want some other man to treat my daughter, of course I'm going to treat them kindly and with respect. And then my daughter travels all over the world. She's going to be protected because then some other man's going to treat her like I treat this young woman.
Oh, that's great. I love it.
Yeah,
that's really nice.
You know, and as we wrap up the show, Bear, you would love to hear like what's sort of like the next phase. What's the next adventure? What can we expect? I mean, do you plan a year ahead of time, 5 years ahead of time, or can you tell us about what's going to happen next?
Yeah, road tour.
I just do whatever's in front of me. If someone offers me something, then you know I accept, and then I just plan that. So you know, I'm going to Ralph in Boston next month, and then I'm going to VidCon in July, and so those are things that I'm really looking forward to. I went to VidCon last year, and that was so phenomenal, and this year they're giving me a room, so I'm really excited about that.
Cool.
And one of my favorite videos is me on stage at VidCon last year. I recommend everyone go see that because that is so powerful. So yeah, those are the two things. But other than that, it's just my farm and living my life and how. So one of the things that I'm planning on is working with my daughter. She's trying to figure out some way that we can bring the ceremonies back to the displaced peoples from the national parks, from the indigenous peoples from the national parks. So we're working on that. She's got her degree from UC Santa Cruz in environmental studies and economics, and she's pursuing a career in the National Park Service. So we're trying to see if we can figure out some way that she can go to the different parks within the country and bring back the ceremonies that we have here in Yosemite to the other parks around the country.
Oh, very
So
cool.
that's something we're working on.
I love
Awesome.
it.
Awesome, Bear.
Thank you, Bear.
Yeah, we want to thank you
sharing
for
today.
this spiritual film
was really
courage
nice.
here
Yeah, it was
today.
a pleasure.
Yeah.
Pleasure
Yeah,
talking
re-
to
Oh,
you.
my pleasure.
Yeah, we really enjoyed this. Thank you.
This was great.
We've been speaking with Paul Yosemite Bear Vasquez, a.k.a. the Double Rainbow Guy. For more on Bear, please visit his YouTube channel. He has hundreds of videos there. It's Hungry Bear 9562. Yeah, so there's much more than just his Double Rainbow video. Some really cool videos of Bear and his life and Yosemite. It's beautiful.
Yeah, and trust me, even if you're a city person, watching those videos will be like, wow, I want to move there. I want to go there. So it's
You
very
guys should come and visit.
And thank you, Jonathan.
Awesome.
Yeah, no, it was a
being here.
pleasure. I
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Yeah,
Nice
we-
talking to
Good
you
times.
guys.
Yeah, it's nice talking to you too, Bear, and we hope to
Happy
stay in
Easter.
touch.
Happy Easter.
Yeah, happy Easter. Thank you.
We want to thank our guy Jonathan.
Yeah, Jonathan.
Schieffer. I keep wanting to
Spirit
say it,
no.
but Schieffer.
I appreciate it.
And it's at J Schieffer on Twitter. And we're gonna fly out of here. We'd like to thank our guy Ronan Rosner for everything he does. If you'd like to hear your project or business mentioned during one of our shows or displayed on our site, to advertise at filmcurs.com in our radio program, please inquire through filmcurs.com via our contact page.
And next Sunday is our final Sunday here on LA Talk Radio. We will be speaking with Sherry Candler and John Reese regarding Joffrey, Mavericks of American Dance, as well as hybrid cinema created by filmmaker and author John Reese of Think Outside the Box Office, and his book with Sherry Candler and the film collaborative, Selling Your Film Without Selling Your Soul.
Yes, indeed. Hybrid cinema was created to help filmmakers navigate the ever-changing world of film distribution and marketing.
For more on John Reese and Sherry Candler, please visit johnreese.com, sherrycandler.com, and joffreymovie.com. Again, the film Joffrey, Mavericks of American Dance, will be released shortly, I believe, VOD.
Yeah. So yeah,
we'll
it's
talk. I think
our-
it's the 27th of April, something like that.
Absolutely, and as Carrie mentioned, it's our final Film Courage live show. We're sort of evolving into new terrain.
We'll
So
still be around.
We'll still be around, so we're not going anywhere. We hope you join us, and that pretty much does it for us, folks. Until next Sunday, have a great week.
Happy Easter.